Hello, happiness abounder, and welcome back. Today, in light of current and recent events across the globe, aka coronavirus, I want to share some techniques to reduce anxiety and stress, to help alleviate worry, and to hopefully put us in a good mindset to be able to make clear and conscious decisions regarding what's best for the safety of us and our family, for the well-being of those around us, our neighbors, and our community, and be able to make decisions that benefit everyone outside of a social self-protection mindset, but more in a mindset of the greater good and being happier because of that. So that said, that's what I want to dive into today. And today I'm going to share 3 techniques that I use, that I encourage my clients to use to help relieve that stress, gain that mental and emotional clarity, and make the best decisions for themselves. So that said, let's dive in. First technique is to do a gratitude rant. Now, I know that this may seem like, what? Everyone is sick. I'm stuck in my house. I can't be grateful right now. There's way too many other things to worry about. Yeah, I know. But if you can get grateful and you can do a rant of gratitude, if you will, then that gives your brain the opportunity to see all the good things and start to make conscious decisions to help you get more good things, regardless of how terrible or disheartening the times may be in your mind or for you. So, that said, how do you do a gratitude rant? Really, for me, I like to write things down. So I actually get a piece of paper and I just start writing everything that I can think of that I'm possibly grateful for. So that could be something like running water. That could be something like clean blankets, my cell phone, social media, podcasts, the ability to stream things to my TV, the ability to work from home, the internet, my job, my spouse, the ability to work with my dogs next to me. I think I already said warm blankets, but I can put that one again because I love warm blankets. Nice weather, a microphone, lighting. There's so many things. Music, food, gas for the stove, for the fireplace, a great big jug of water. There's so many things that I can be grateful for that I could go on for a full 10 minutes. It's a little bit harder for me to do it on the fly. I like to write it down and I can just go for 10 minutes of straight writing. But if you are more of an auditory person, then I suggest instead of writing it down, which can feel a little bit more tactile, that you express it, that you say it, and you go on, set an alarm for 5, 10, maybe 3 minutes, whatever works for you, whatever resonates for you, and just start listing off everything that you are grateful for. Now, if you're a visual learner, instead of writing it out, draw pictures. I don't mean having like a detailed thing of everything that you're grateful for, but maybe it's bubbles. I'm grateful for this, and this connects to this, and this connects to this, and this connects to this, right? And you start to draw this web diagram, if you will, and that can help you feel more connected in your learning style of feeling grateful. But this helps transition your brain from fear and worry and overwhelm to gratitude and humbleness, which allows you to think more clearly and make decisions that help you be happier. So that's 1. 2 is that we have this awesome ability to visualize things. And while it's awesome in many ways, it can also be one of the biggest detriments to our happiness, and especially in stressful times, because we start to imagine the worst of the worst happening. And what happens there is it's almost like a snowball rolling down a hill. You have this thing up at the top, which is the situation, and then it starts to gain momentum, and every single negative thought that you have about it starts to cling and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And soon it feels like you've got the Indiana Jones ball rolling after you down this great big hill, this snowball, Indiana Jones ball, of all this worry, all of this stress, all this anxiety and fear. So what I'd like us to do in the second component of helping us work through this stressful time and make better decisions and get that clarity is to do what we can to visualize that snowball melting and us getting bigger than it. Meaning, one of the reasons that we can feel so overwhelmed and wrought with fear is because visually in our brain, it feels like we have this huge, like I said, Indiana Jones sized snowball rolling after us. And that makes us feel powerless. I'll say that again. When we have this image of all of these things coming after us and that are outside of our control, we feel powerless. And one of the best things that you can do to help regain a feeling of power is to visualize that. And I like to use it as a snowball because I can visualize the sun coming out and melting it. I like to see that ball shrinking to about the size of a soccer ball. And I then am in control. It's not so big it's going to crush me and overwhelm me. And in fact, it's big enough that I can kick it away from me and that I can dribble it down the field if I want to, or whatever I need to do to make it a size that makes it manageable for me. Now, that doesn't mean that it completely disappears, right? Because then that visualization wouldn't work. Your brain would be like, yeah, but the problems are still here. The point of it is that it shrinks it down to a size that feels manageable for you. And that simple visualization can help you feel more like you're in control. Therefore, opening up your heart and your mind to make better decisions for the well-being of you, your family, your community, and ultimately your own happiness. Now, that's not saying don't be prepared. That's not saying don't take necessary actions that you need to take, but it is saying that you can do them out of a space of feeling like you own what's happening as opposed to it happening to you. Stepping out of the victim mindset, I'm going to get ran over by this great big snowball of all this fear and worry, and instead stepping into I'm making conscious decisions because I'm controlling that soccer ball that seems to be my worries. So, step one out of 3 possible options is to get grateful and get grateful fast. Step 2, visualize all of those things that feel so overwhelming in a ball. And if that ball feels bigger than you, shrink it down to a size that's manageable so that visually and in your head, you can feel as though you have the control that you need to make conscious effort and action. Okay, now the third one. This one's going to seem even weirder. I'm sure they progressively get more weird, but this one's going to seem even more, I'm going to say, unique. And that is that I want you to go outside and get a rock. Now, it doesn't have to be a big rock. It needs to be big enough that you can hold it, that you can feel it, but not so big that you can't chuck it. What I want you to do is I want you to just pick up that rock and throw it. And I want you to do that for 10 minutes straight. Now, if for some reason that you are physically unable to get something that's somewhat weighty, even if it's like a pen, take that pen, hold it, and drop it. Pick it back up, drop it. Pick it back up, drop it. And just have the action of letting something that is somewhat heavy go. Highly recommend the rock if you can. So getting that rock, even if it's just a small little pebble, but something that has a little bit of weight to it, and just pick it up and chuck it, or pick it up and let it go. Now be careful if you're throwing rocks, nobody's around, all of that, but use common sense. But what you're doing is you're telling your brain that you can pick something up, you can have the responsibility, but it doesn't have to have weight over you, and you can let it go. You can have the control of throwing it away from you, of dropping it away from you. And it's not saying you're dropping your responsibilities, especially during a stressful time, but instead it's saying that you have the control, that you can pick it up or you can let it go. And that physical movement will start to release all that tension that's happening in your emotions and your mind and allow you to have that more conscious thought. Now, I'm happy to go into more detail. Obviously, 10-minute episode, not a lot of time to work with these 3 exercises and techniques. But if you want to learn more about either of these, any of these, then please let me know. I am happy to hop on a Zoom call or Google Hangouts or even just chat on social media and walk through this more thoroughly with you. But I hope that it helps in this time of stress across our nation and across the world. So that said, I'm wishing you the best in health and happiness, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and that these are able to help you in controlling the situations, feeling mentally and emotionally clear, but above everything else, reminding you that you are capable of happiness abound.